a lot of these guys in ECW, they are at the point where they're just getting ready to, leave. They're ready to, they're ready to not really call it quits, but they're just either not happy with the way the direction the company's going, or they're just not into it anymore with WWE. But we're going to get into that a little bit later, because here's also where the second storyline happens, in which Bobby Lashley is still involved in this. Now, Bobby Lashley, after the Elimination Chamber matchup, he's not really involved with the ECW title picture. He was brought in to be the ECW champion, but he's going to need to really earn that spot back with the fans of ECW. So, what happens? He has some great matches on ECW, a couple of very interesting matches that he has with Test, Hardcore Holly, maybe a couple with Van Dam, a couple of the ECW originals. But this also piques the interest of Donald Trump, where he talks about, the great Bobby Lashley. He's an ECW guy, and that is awesome. So they have Bobby Lashley versus Umaga at the Battle of the Billionaires at WrestleMania. That is still the same. And Bobby Lashley is the one who still comes out victorious. The reason why we don't have the ECW Championship on there is because it's not really a focal point. Now, after WrestleMania has come down, Vince McMahon decides to make Bobby Lashley's life a living hell. And this is where you're also getting Bobby Lashley a little more into Raw, so you can kind of test the waters where, is he going to get a good reaction with Raw, or is he just going to get, shanked down the toilet? So, Bobby Lashley, he goes on to take on, all of Vince McMahon's, new comings. He takes on handicap matches, gauntlet matches, battle royals, whatever. And it ends up being, of course, the 3-on-1 handicap match between Umaga, Shane McMahon, and Vince McMahon taking on Bobby Lashley at Backlash. So basically what you would expect from Backlash to One Night Stand, that is still the same. But they're not competing for the ECW Championship. No. They are actually competing. What's going to happen is that Bobby Lashley's job is going to be put on the line. So basically what happens is that Vince McMahon pins Lashley at Backlash and says, "Bobby Lashley, you're fired." Made his life a living hell and decided that is what is going to happen. Bobby Lashley says, "I'm not going anywhere." So the next couple nights he's saying, I want my match. See, I want my job back. And Vince says, "All right, well, you can fight me at Judgment Day, along with my tag team partners, Umaga and Shane McMahon." And what you expect would happen? It actually happens. Bobby Lashley wins the handicap matchup by pinning Shane McMahon, but Vince says, "In order for you to get your job back, you have to beat me. So you are still fired. You don't have a job." And now he finally gets his rematch against Vince McMahon at the One Night Stand event, and he gets his job back. Now, we go from that to what was going on with CM Punk from Backlash going into One Night Stand. Basically what goes on with this is that the New Breed is still a little bit behind CM Punk, but they also notice that CM Punk is kind of full of himself. But they're not going to break up with him yet. Instead, what's going to happen is that Rob Van Dam challenges CM Punk for the ECW title at Backlash. Now, they actually decide to make the stipulation that if Rob Van Dam cannot beat CM Punk at Backlash, that Rob Van Dam is fired. So CM Punk comes out victorious with shenanigans, and Rob Van Dam, he's gone. They do the same thing at Judgment Day. This time it's Sabu. Actually, it's with the Sandman. Sandman comes out, tries to fight, but CM Punk beats him. Sandman, gone. Sabu, One Night Stand, gone. And then all that's left is Tommy Dreamer. So they have a matchup between Tommy Dreamer and CM Punk on the ECW show, and Tommy Dreamer actually comes the closest to beating CM Punk. CM Punk goes for the GTS, but Tommy Dreamer counters into the Dreamer DDT, and Tommy Dreamer goes to cover 1, 2, but everybody from the New Breed just piles in and attacks Tommy Dreamer. They take him down, they send him through the announce table, they just basically brutalize the guy, and he has to be taken out on a stretcher. So unfortunately, CM Punk is still the ECW champion, and he is still having a big head on his shoulders. He's just saying, like, "I am the future, I am this, I am that, I am just the man that will definitely carry this in the future single-handedly. And of course, you can still see the New Breed is just kind of like, is he not acknowledging us on purpose, or is he just being a little bit of a dick right now for no reason whatsoever? So we go from that to him proclaiming that he is the only ECW champion that these people can be proud of. You cue in dun 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 dun. Bobby Lashley. He returns back to ECW, and it's him against CM Punk at the Night of Champions pay-per-view. And Lashley says, "You know something, man? I may have been out of a job for a while, but I have indeed watched ECW, and I've watched how you basically destroyed this brand. I am going to bring prestigious to that championship by beating some sense into you." So they have Bobby Lashley versus CM Punk at Night of Champions, and unfortunately Bobby Lashley wins by a technicality via disqualification, where the New Breed comes out, they try to beat him down, and unfortunately Bobby Lashley is pissed. He's going to just start beating everybody up, and that's how he gets his title match again at the Bash. Only this time around, the shenanigans help again, and CM Punk actually pins Bobby Lashley in the middle of the ring after a GTS, and now they are tied up at one apiece. And Bobby Lashley says, "You know what? I'm going to beat you, and if I can't beat you, I will leave ECW." And why this is happening is because they're already going to have John Cena basically get injured still from his feud with Randy Orton. So they definitely need a younger talent to actually fight off against Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. So, as you guessed, Bobby Lashley goes on to lose to CM Punk at SummerSlam, and Bobby Lashley's gone. He's gone to Raw. He can face off against Randy Orton for the WWE title. It's something different. Nothing against Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho having those matches. Nothing against that. Those matches were amazing, but you just need to have some of the younger talent. I think that that was the problem with Randy Orton's title run, was that he always faced the veterans. He never faced off against any of the younger talent. I mean, the only guy that he faced off that was a younger talent was Jeff Hardy. So, we go into the next night after SummerSlam. CM Punk is just proclaiming again that, yes, I am indeed the greatest of all time, and there's nothing that anybody can do to stop me. And then you cue Tommy Dreamer. He makes his return to ECW, and everybody is just losing their minds. They're thinking, what is Tommy Dreamer doing back? What's he going to do? And Tommy Dreamer says, I just got off of a medical deal. I'm completely 100% confident. But I am actually here to make sure that ECW is run the right and better way. And what the best way to do that is that the board of directors have appointed me in charge of ECW, which means that Paul Heyman, you're gone. So Paul Heyman is fired from ECW, and this is actually a good transition. This gives him a little bit of time off, so that way when Brock Lesnar comes out, he can maybe have some time to, to be rested and have some more material going into it. But Tommy Dreamer is now running ECW, and he decides to make CM Punk's life a living hell. And CM Punk is now relying on the New Breed. He's saying, hey guys, we're a team, right? Let's work together. Let's fight off against Tommy Dreamer. Let's do this. And the New Breed's just finally they turn face and they're just saying, no, we're not going to do that, because you were the one who said you're going to single-handedly take ECW to the next level and blah blah blah, and you're going to do this. And they're the ones that actually challenge CM Punk for the next couple of months. And you can even throw in, John Morrison and The Miz as a couple of baby faces as well. But you have all of this going up until Royal Rumble, when you actually have CM Punk versus Chavo Guerrero. And hopefully they actually would use him in a proper way this time. But before the Royal Rumble happens, CM Punk is saying, I have taken everything that you've had, Tommy, and I have beaten everybody that you have put in my way, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. You're nothing more than just an old man who doesn't have it in him anymore. He smacks Tommy Dreamer, hits him with the GTS, and leaves the ring, getting ready for his match against Chavo Guerrero. And what you see is Tommy Dreamer slowly getting up, shaking his head, and he looks up the rampway at CM Punk, and he is just steaming. He is just steaming mad, and you know that there's going to be something going on with Tommy Dreamer. So Royal Rumble comes around, and they actually have CM Punk retain over Chavo Guerrero. Now, backstage, they actually have a deal with Vince McMahon and with Tommy Dreamer in which they talk. And CM Punk, again, he gloats in front of him and he says, hey, look who's the champion still. Look who's still going to be the champion going into WrestleMania. And you know something, Tommy? Who else do you possibly got? And Tommy Dreamer just looks at him, he smiles, and he says, Punk, you just need to realize that maybe for an old man, but I still got some tricks up my sleeves. And of course, CM Punk is just thinking, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? So we have the Royal Rumble matchup, and we have the number 30 spot, 3, 2, 1. It is not John Cena. It's Tommy Dreamer. He comes back out, eliminates people left and right, and it comes to Triple H versus Tommy Dreamer. And it ends up actually being Tommy Dreamer who wins the Royal Rumble. So now we have an ECW guy win the Royal Rumble, and he's going to challenge for the ECW Championship at WrestleMania. Now, I know a lot of people look at that and they think, well, that seems kind of like a stupid idea. It's never been done before. You have to realize you have to change things up a bit. I mean, you also look back at that Royal Rumble matchups. John Cena won his matchup, and he says, screw that title shot. I want it at No Way Out. I want to challenge the champion then. I don't want to wait until WrestleMania and blah, 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 blah. So it makes more sense to have Tommy Dreamer win the Royal Rumble and then have John Cena come back the night after Royal Rumble and challenge Randy Orton for the WWE Championship at No Way Out. And they can still have their triple threat matchup. Edge and Undertaker can still have their matchup, which would definitely steal the show and still be the main event. But the true main event would be Tommy Dreamer versus CM Punk for the ECW Championship in an Extreme Rules matchup. And this matchup is balls to the walls, just crazy. It is indeed one of those matches that people look at and they think, this is going to just tear the house down. And it's a proud day for ECW because finally they're the main event of WrestleMania. They're going to showcase it at its best. Tommy Dreamer and CM Punk, they tear the house down. They have tables, ladders, chairs, kendo sticks, sledgehammers, you name it, they bring it on. And then it ends with CM Punk going for the GTS, hits it on Tommy Dreamer. 1, 2, Tommy kicks out, and CM Punk is in complete shock. Tommy Dreamer hits the DDT. 1, 2, CM Punk kicks out. They're just throwing everything they got at each other, but finally it ends with Dreamer hitting that major DDT. 1, 2, 3. Tommy Dreamer is the new ECW champion. Now, I know a lot of people may be thinking, well, doesn't he not want to be the ECW champion? Might be true, but I think that with Tommy Dreamer, with everything that he has sacrificed and everything that he's done, he deserves the spotlight. He deserves one more run as the champion. So CM Punk is no longer the ECW champion. Tommy Dreamer has ended the reign of CM Punk, a year reign over at least. And CM Punk also gets his main event spot at WrestleMania. The match ends with CM Punk extending his hand out and Tommy Dreamer slowly shaking CM Punk's hand. Show of respect. CM Punk raises his hand, acknowledging that Tommy Dreamer is indeed the better man. And you have one of the best ECW storylines that WWE could have possibly offered. And that's how I would have booked it, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in to Pro Talk Wrestling, guys. Be sure to tune in next week. There will indeed be a AJ's Belts deal going on for you guys. For those of you that have a couple, that have a special someone in your life, happy Valentine's Day to you guys. And for those of you that are single like me, we save a little bit of money, right? Haha. Alright, so thank you guys for joining me for Pro Talk Wrestling. Be sure to tune in next week. Have a great day.